I have been mentoring several professionals in their mid to senior stages of career, be it an entrepreneur or be it a corporate professional. Also have been mentoring some early startups, student startups, etc. I got some questions in the recent times about several aspects related to how to create growth, how to drive growth, how to have mindset, vision. Can you take a problem? Can you take a weakness? Can you take a flip side, downside, and flip that into an upside? And it's not easily done. You really need to train your mind. You really need to train your way of thinking to be able to convert a flip side into an upside. If you see in Japan, we all know that there are a lot of earthquakes in Japan. It's a very unstable region from seismic movement viewpoint. So what Japan has done, and all the examples that I'm going to give, and we can give some examples of individuals also in this space. When it's like you have a sieve, and if you are a grain, either you are above the sieve or you are below the sieve, right? There is nothing, there is no third option. Similarly, when you get posed against a challenge, a daunting challenge, you either crumble against it and fall down, and that's when you become mediocre, or you challenge yourself, you stretch, you increase your strength and rise above it and create your strength out of that challenge or a downside, and that's when you become outstanding. So I was talking about Japan. So what Japan has done out of this problem that nature gave it to them, they developed a technology, they developed the way to create infrastructure, to build infrastructure which is stable even in a high seismic activity zone. And today in the world, Japan sells technology, sells the excellence of how to build infrastructure which is seismic movement proof. If you take another example, let's say of Israel, where water is very, very scarce, any country possibly could have gone down with that problem, could have, I mean, you get people who admire a problem, who sing victim songs when they are faced with a problem, or like I said, you create an upside out of it. So what Israel did is, when they have water shortage, in a few years, a few decades time, they have become a water champion, water management champion in the world. They sell technology, they sell knowledge about how to do irrigation, etc. So if you look at Netherlands, for example, Netherlands is placed below sea level, and they have become excellence center in the world about how to manage water flow, how to manage flood, how to not allow your cities to get flooded. So in all these three cases, if you see, there was a serious problem posed by nature in front of these countries, and instead of going down with those problems or making them big over their head, they converted them into their strength side, and today stand like distinguished country in those spaces in the world. So I always believe that onus is on us to stand up, find larger cause and make an undying effort. So when we take that onus on us, we stand up, we make an effort with tremendous amount of intensity, not giving up, only then we have a right to expect help and expect luck. I have seen often the sequence is upsided down by many people. They expect help, they expect luck right in the beginning or at a very early stage, and they have an excuse for giving up many times, that I didn't get enough help or I didn't have luck. But unless you have really sweated out, you have tried everything possible, the universe will test you, all the odds will test you, and unless they see that your intensity, your resolve really has a merit that deserves help, the help will not come to you. Universe, I always say, starts its process to bring the goal to you that you have been wanting to pursue, or it will take you to the goal, but only when it has tested you enough, only when it knows that you are not going to give up, you are very committed to your effort, no bottleneck or no kind of obstacle can stop you. Once it is convinced, it will get into the act and it will start its process. As I said, either it will bring the goal towards you or it will take you to the goal, but that's when you have played your part. Subconscious mind, self-belief are very vital. One of the things that comes to my mind to give as an example is my own experience. Back in 2007-8, when all of you know there was Taj attack, Mumbai attacks, one of those normal evenings, lazy evenings. I was about to sleep, and I got one weird SMS on my those kind of old phones. We didn't have, I think, smartphones then, or maybe no, we didn't have smartphones. So I just got a SMS saying that there is some weird kind of firing incidences in Mumbai, random firing incidences on. So please avoid going there. So it was a very weird message. I couldn't quite figure out what it means. So I went and put on TV to try and understand what's happening. What was coming on TV also was very, very unclear at that time. Some sporadic firing incidences, and one was not able to make out really what's happening. They looked like some 2-3 unconnected, disconnected incidences, but how could they happen at the same time in the city? And the whole thing was sounding like very, very confusing. But at the same time, somewhere my hunch was telling me that something ugly is happening, and this is how life kicks you in your backside when you are getting into comfort zone. So the next morning was horrific. The whole world, Mumbai, had seen the drama, and which continued for maybe 1 or 2 days after that, and it kept on getting uglier and uglier. What saw in the end was an ugly dance of cruelty. There were deaths, there were injuries, there was blood, and it was so horrible. And days after that, I was seeing there was a fear, there was a disbelief that was setting into people in the society, and I was very, very uncomfortable. I wanted to protest it, I wanted to refuse to accept it, but I was thinking, as a common man, what can I do? I was very hurt, and I was not able to take it. And I would say I slept with that discomfort, or rather I did not sleep with that discomfort, because it did not allow me to sleep for nights after night. And I was thinking, what can I do as a common man? Can I not do anything? Do I just have to live with it? Do I have to take this humiliation and just swallow it? So I kept on thinking about one thing or the other. Can I do this? Can I do that? And I was not settling on to anything. Then a thought came to my mind that I'll organize a marathon where I can get maybe, and I was envisaging, I was visualizing, and this is where the subconscious starts playing. It started getting that belief that, oh, this is it, this is what you need to do, this is what will happen. So I had recently returned to India after staying with my family in Dubai for about 10 years. So I was just back maybe about a year or less than a year ago. So I didn't know anybody here, I didn't have any connects, I didn't know how to organize a marathon, where do I need to go, whom to talk to, how to get approvals, how to get people, no idea. But I think I was freezing on that concept that this is what I want to do, because I was seeing a tremendous force multiplier. And one more reason is, if you get 6, 7, 10,000 people to come for one cause and denounce and refuse to get suppressed as a society, knocked down as a society against that kind of aggression, I think that was a very positive vibration that I could have created to counter that kind of attack. Second thing is, because there was a lot of fear and disbelief I was seeing creeping into people, getting 6, 7, 8,000 people, you don't know, person running to me is from what background, what religion, which state, and when you get 7, 8,000 people all running for a cause that we are declining to get smashed down with the attempt of that kind of terrorism on us, I think that was very powerful. So I wanted to do it, but I had no way to know what to do. I was working in one of the renowned large companies in India. Work was demanding. I used to work for about 11, 12 hours maybe. And after that, every evening I started talking to a few people whom I thought possibly could help me. The first point to start. I must have talked to 20, 30, 40, 50 people in the next 4 or 5 days. And everybody started looking at me like I'm insane. What am I talking? Why do I want to do it? How can it be happen? How can it happen? So most of them shrugged me off. It didn't sound like any help is coming, but I didn't want to give up. So I kept on talking to people, and a random thing happened. And this is where I say universe tests you, and then some help comes from somewhere that you don't expect. I randomly bumped into somebody who was my school friend. I was meeting him first time after possibly grade 3 or grade 4 of my school, which is good maybe 30 years later. I recognized him. When I talked about school, he also, it took little time for him to recognize, but he recognized. Then we sat, we talked about a lot of our old memory, school, etc. Then I told him, this is what I want to do. And then I realized, then he mentioned that he was politically active in that region, and he had a lot of connects, and he said, yes, good idea, I will support you. And because he was deep rooted in that soil, he had good connects for long time, things started happening pretty much easier, because I connected with him, and within next maybe 5 or 7 or 8 days, we were a team of about 12, 13 people, all from different backgrounds through him, and things started moving. So we got volunteers all of a sudden, from one person who was trying to get at least one person to support him, talking to hundreds of people, no help coming. In a few days time, we were a team of 12, 13 people, some of them press reporters, some of them handling protocol of some political leaders, some of them working in some government offices, and things started happening. We formed kind of an organization, small organization, to do that. We started getting permissions for marathon. We started approaching, and this was all working 17, 18 hours for me. For maybe 2, 3 months, I must have worked for 17, 18 hours, because 12 hours of work. After that, I used to get out, and next 5, 6 hours, we took a small office. That became our small office. Everybody of us was like, we were CMOs, we were CEOs, we were T-boys, we were pantry boys, we were loaders, unloaders, everything. So there was kind of a tremendous nasha in that work, and we were also passionate. And I was enjoying, because it was gathering momentum. I was seeing that, I was sensing the fragrance that this is going to happen. So we also got sponsors. The money came in, the doctors started coming in, the ambulances came in, volunteers came in, and we were a team of about 100, 200 people. So I think in about 3 months time, uh, what I saw in my eyes, what I saw clearly that was going to happen out of absolutely nowhere, did happen. So I got some film stars to be there to inaugurate. I got the Home Minister of State at that time to come and inaugurate, to give a speech, because this was very significant that Home Minister came, considering the cause of this marathon. We also located a chef who was involved in that attack. Was very a young man, very bold, very courageous. He saved himself. Not only that, he saved lot of other people. He jumped through the kitchen, and he helped other people to jump through the kitchen, and bravery. So we did a lot of search, and somehow I found him. I found his address. We honored him. We brought him there. We let him speak to let people know actually what happened, and give them a lot of enthusiasm. He was injured, he was on crutches because of obviously injuries and all that, but that was a tremendous thing that we got him to address to the crowd, and he was like an example of how not to give up, how to respond in that situation. He stood up, he saved his life, and he saved the life of so many people in that environment of calamity and chaos. So all that happened, and that evening, it was like nature was saying Tathastu. We literally had about 7,000 people running a marathon, flagged off by Home Minister, flagged off by several Bollywood celebrities, and the atmosphere was electrifying. There were patriotic songs going on. People were saying that we are invincible, we as a society cannot be defeated, we denounce this terrorism, and I got a very clear conclusion that day, that if you believe in something, you don't stop. You simply don't stop stretching yourself, and don't stop believing that this is going to happen. It happens. Universe waits till it qualifies you to start helping, and like I said, then the goal comes to you, or you are taken to the goal. Thank you very much.